So, not all stocks and shares ISAs are created equal, unfortunately. Some have hidden fees, monthly fees, and some of them also limit your investments, but we are going to help you get your account sorted and understand what the differences are so you can get your wealth journey on track with tax-free investing. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down 7 ISA platforms in the UK right now that are pretty good. I have missed some as well, but I have done this on real use experience. There's only one platform I have not used on this list. They all offer different types of fees, flexibility, and also features. And I'm also going to reveal the one that I am using currently to try and grow mine to £1 million by the time I'm 50, which is quite a while away, luckily. Now hit the like button if you are looking to invest for the long term, and comment below what do you use or what are you looking to open. Disclaimer, none of this is financial advice, and also there's no affiliate links or any of these, so I'm not getting paid to promote any of them, so don't worry. Now, a little refresher if you're a beginner. £20,000 annual limit, okay? Tax-free, capital gains on the appreciation of the asset or the fund, the stock, and also the dividend payment you receive, unless you are buying US stocks, which is a 15% withholding tax on the dividend. But this, realistically, is perfect for long-term investing. Now, I've kind of done a little bit of a ranking criteria, nothing crazy, but based off like my opinion, these are all platforms that I would use, but I'm going to talk about the different things within them. There's fees, there's app usability, there's investment range, there's auto-investing / automation, there's fractional shares to consider. Not to mention, is it suitable for beginners or is it suitable for advanced investors? Now, the first one is called FreeTrade. You may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it, and they're not really in order in terms of importance, but each one I will talk about will have a different thing, which is kind of something you need to be aware of. And it already says here, investing simplified, your commission-free, self-directed investment platform, which is fine. But the big caveat to all of this is there's an ISA fee of $6.99 or $5.99 per month, pretty much. Not ideal. The app is clean. It's a nice, neat website. It's all there in terms of what you can do. But ultimately, as I say, what puts people off with apps like this, you're paying a monthly fee, which kind of eats into all your profit margin, so to speak, right? But as I say, tax wrapped, normal. Unlimited commissions, which is ideal. So maybe if you're investing in a lot of things, it might actually pay for itself. Whereas if you're doing a lot of moving around, you may well pay a fee for every single time, and also you've got to remember stamp duty if you're investing. So the stuff like that, obviously you need to be wary of. This is good for the long-term investor because they have stocks, they also have mutual funds, ETFs, etc. So you are not restricted in any way. Ideally, that's what you want. But as I say, you have got 2 tariffs, right? Basic investment, general investment, free, right? You also have standard, as I say there, flexible stocks and shares ISA, so you can move them around. And then you've got a pension, if you want to have a pension, within that plus account. So if I was to be honest with you guys, I don't like the idea of paying a monthly fee. Personal opinion, of course. But as I say, the apps and the web browser on this is very neat, very tidy. And it does kind of allow you to kind of get involved as a long-term investor without worrying about the UI, which on some websites, which I will go through, can be a bit old school. But like always, there's over 6,200 global stocks, ETFs, gilt. You got low FX fees, which in some ways 0.59% isn't too bad for non-Great British Pound, basically US stocks and stuff like that. So there is stuff on there which is good, but also you get 3% on your uninvested cash up to. That's a bit of a downward draw if you are holding more cash than not. Now going to something a bit more older school, Vanguard, the ones that really started the affordable investing, but they have kind of deviated away from that in the last couple of years. Now, this is ideal for more hands-off investing, their own funds, so to speak. They're trusted, proven funds. They have done this for a long, long time now. And they do offer cheap index funds versus the majority. But as I say, it is perfect if you just want to be a part of Vanguard products only. You cannot invest in individual stocks here. So maybe if you're looking at a certain type of investment, it's up to you. But you will find on a self-managed ISA, it will be different versus the managed ISA. That's very, very important. The description say it yourself, but you've got only 85 funds to pick, right? So you are restricted quite a lot. But I will say this, you can do a lot of things with this because, as I say, they have a proven track record and some of their records are really, really good. But there is also a cost involved, right? So if you are doing the managed one, it's all per year on a percentage base, depends on how much you've got in your account. Or if you've got self-managed, it's £4 a month, whatever. As you can see, there's a lot of these little things add up and hidden fees, right? So just be mindful of it. And yeah, it can kind of showcase how much, if you've got it invested, how much it will be worth and what it is. So always remember your profit lines and your margins and whatever. And yeah, it will come very much apparent when you build and look at what you want to invest in. But as I say, all of these are funds that you can use. They're all different in terms of risk profile and amount of holdings and stuff, and they are proven. They are proven to do well. But do you want more? Personally, myself, I like individual assets. I like the dividends. That's my personal opinion, though. Now, another one that, I'll be honest, I've never used. This is the only one I've never used. I have heard about it, obviously, but I wanted to talk about a real big mainstream one that is pretty popular for the long-term, larger portfolio investors. But they do have great research tools. They do have access to stocks, funds, and advanced tools, but they do have a high percentage fee on their stock platform, so to speak, if you're buying and selling. So that's where it will add up on this one. It's neat, tidy. I've looked at it before. I've seen many videos of people using this platform. And yeah, it's the same sort of situation. It's trying to make a simplistic language for you guys to understand. But as I said before, you do have pretty heavy fees with this one, and it's quite known for that. However, app's clean. It works pretty well. Now, with regards to all this, like anything, you can do your own thing. You can leave it to the experts or you can do it yourself. And that's where the difference is, where you'll see the charges. So if you look at the stocks and shares ISAs, the annual account charge of 0.45%. That will add up quite a bit if you start compounding your investments and growing and growing. But as I say, 40 years they've been around, the 1.9 million award winning. It is a good one. But ultimately, that account charge is pretty big. Now, something that is becoming a bit more popular is InvestEngine. I've used these recently. They are relatively good. But there is a couple of things that I will say I don't like, but that's just me. They are mainly for ETF investing, which is fine if you want something very basic. So if you are a complete and utter beginner, it's probably the best one. Let's be honest here. Because you can just go for their funds and buy into it. And there is no setup fees, there is no withdrawal fees, there is no dealing fees, and there is no ISA fees. Their platform is really good for the DIY side of it. So I do like that. That's my only element to it that I don't like, is the fact that you can be a little bit restricted here. But that being said, it might be for you. So as I say, fees are good. Return opportunity is good because the fees are low. But let's be honest here. Let's talk about the obvious in the room. We're going to see a lot more of these little charts, right, where they are comparing many different things. And I do not like the fact of like sums and values, but you can kind of see the difference. Now, what's mad is that the one that I just talked about before, wow, how many fees have you lost over that course of the time, which is absolutely boggling. So yeah, there's always going to be fees involved. There's always going to be stamp duty in some sort of way, but this one does mitigate some of that charge, which is good. That's for doing it yourself. You do have life plans as well. So with the life plans on InvestEngine, there is an account fee, which is higher than some. Obviously, yeah, it depends on certain things, but ultimately you can see the bottom one pretty heavy still. And likewise with the managed one, there is still fees, but there is certain platforms where if you're doing it yourself, it's totally free. If they're doing it with their own input, their own management, there is a fee. But as you can see, it's pretty reasonable, let's be fair here. But let's not kid ourselves, there is still fees involved. You will want to have some flexibility in your investing. But as I say, they are mainly just ETFs, 830 on the platform, many different ways and means of doing it, and as well as their life ones, which is similar to the Vanguard ones. But yeah, please try not to get too caught out in the emotions of it. You can just focus specifically on ETFs here, which might be perfect for the beginner. Now, something I've covered before on the channel is apps like Moneybox, which is mainly like micro investing, automation, auto investment tools, roundups, and risk management based portfolio settings, such as ETFs and mutual funds. But you do have to pay a monthly fee to get these activated. So if you're spending your monies, your hard-earned monies in Tesco, Greggs, wherever it is, you can set the platform to auto invest and round up your money. So say if you spent 50p, you might want to round that up to £1, for example, when you save the 50p as an example, right? So it is pretty good for that. It is different and it allows you to save, which is good, but also save and invest. So be mindful of the change. And obviously, if you're investing, you can obviously grow your money, which is the most important thing. But again, same sort of situation. The thing with this is you can actually hold more of your cash in an ISA, the cash side of it, because it is flexible. With most platforms nowadays, you can get higher interest versus your retail bank. But as I say, it's good for beginners. It can, rely on the element of being a beginner and not having that consistency to save money or invest money using their AI tools and their roundup tools. But one thing that I will say is this: you can be a little bit restricted on this platform because it is, yes, obvious ETFs and they do manage them themselves. But the funds, as you can see here, that the funding fee can be pretty high on some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. So just be mindful of that. And yeah, you can also buy stocks, but a lot of them are US only on some of them. They don't have many individual stocks. For this, you're probably better off going with the ETF fund sort of style. And it will make more sense as you're on the platform, especially if you are spending your hard-earned money. And guess what? You can save a bit. But like always, there is a monthly fee. There's also a platform fee. And if you've got a pension, which is the lower part, it ramps up a fair bit. Another one which is very, very similar, this is something that I've had recently, is called Plum. It's pretty decent. Same sort of vibe, smart AI investing app and saving, so to speak. They offer an ISA, which is on this screen now, and it's good for younger investors or total beginners like the previous one. It allows you to save and do certain things and put your money into a lot of mutual funds. They do have 26 mutual funds. They also have a load of stocks. So you are limited in terms of what you got, but ultimately, ideally, most of them are American. You want to kind of get involved with the UK ones if you want to get even more benefits with less tax. But the reality is here, a simple Vanguard fund or whatever, which is proven in the past, you can do that on here. There is, however, like always, fees. Automation fees cost money, depending on the tier that you're on. And yeah, it is all still there. But as I say, it's a clean app. It works pretty well. I'm not 100% sure what the fees are on this one because it doesn't really tell you in full black and white. But I do believe there's like a $4.99 fee or maybe more than that, depending on what it is. I found it. It's in the little FAQs here. So as you can see here, $2.99 to unlock some stuff. Premium is $9.99 per month. So yeah, that adds up a little bit, doesn't it? Now, the one that I use is Trading 212, and you probably know that. But as I said, I have used all the other ones at some point in my 12-year journey as an investor. Now, I will be honest with you, not everyone likes this platform because it's quite complicated in the way that it is individual stocks. You have individual ETF funds and all that kind of stuff. But they do have an element of cash ISA and stocks ISA, and they are flexible and they are interchangeable. No commission investing, no account fees, so there's no monthly charges. You do have to pay a FX charge. You do have to pay stamp duty like normal, but you do get pretty good interest rates on the money markets using your cash, which is paid daily and then received to you every single month. Like always, though, there's different elements to this, which I do like. My personal opinion is I like the pies, which is on the screen here. And it's easy to use. And the pies are brilliant because you can set up an automation pie where you can select all your stocks. You can put it all in the situation of, I want to invest percentage of whatever in each one. And then you can rebalance it. If one's doing really well, you can take profit from that and you can put it into the worst performing one. It's really, really good. It's great for dividends because there's a lot of stocks and a lot of opportunity. Good for growth investors because there's a lot of like emerging market stocks as well. But not ideal if you are a proper novice. You might want to start off with an ETF, but you can buy ETFs on here, which is good. The app is really easy to use. It's super consistent with like the color scheme as well, and it's not too daunting. So I do like it. And like always, as you can see here, it's tax-free investing. Withholding tax is removed as well as you get your dividend if you are in US stocks too. And yeah, the cash side of it, if you do have some profit and you are wanting to get some interest on cash, you can on this platform without having to move anything around, which is fantastic. And as always, you can look at the different sort of fees and the management fees, and there's two on there I've already covered, and you can see here, yes, there's different sort of foreign fee amounts, but as you can see there, it is pretty consistent across the board that a lot of it is pretty good versus the average investor. But as I say, each platform is different. You always have these hidden fees, and it's pretty interesting to see how they all tally up. But as I've alluded to it, there is no one size fits all. With an ISA though, you do need to understand what you're doing. You do need to understand that you can only have so many. And you've also got to remember there is limits in terms of what you can do with them and, in terms of how much you can put in them. But if you want full control, if you want automation or simplicity, there is technically an ISA out there for you. Personally, I use Trading 212. If you're a beginner, you may want to look at Moneybox or Plum just for the simplicity of being able to save better. Or if you want something more trusting or more obvious in terms of like Vanguard with their funds, go for it. But as I say, you can buy into the Vanguard fund on Trading 212 if you want to. There is no links below currently as it stands, certainly when this video has been recorded. So there's no affiliate fees. So this is just my personal opinion and my personal. And if you've not yet done so, please do hit that subscribe button. It means an awful lot. And hit that like button. And let me know, as always, have you opened a Stocks and Shares ISA yet?